What if the reason you're so angry isn't the thing that made you angry? Think about it. You spill coffee on your shirt, and suddenly your whole morning feels ruined. Someone walks too slowly in front of you, and you feel a wave of frustration. A website asks you to create another password, and you want to throw your laptop out the window. These are tiny problems. Yet sometimes they create surprisingly strong emotions. Most of us have had moments like this. We know we're overreacting, but that knowledge doesn't stop the feeling. And afterward, we often ask ourselves the same question: why did something so small make me so angry? The answer matters because these small moments happen every day. They affect your mood, your relationships, and even how you see yourself. If you understand what's really happening, you can handle these situations very differently. The first insight is simple: small things are often the final drop, not the whole glass. Imagine carrying a backpack all day. Every hour, someone adds another small stone. One stone doesn't feel heavy. 2 stones don't feel heavy. But after enough time, the backpack becomes difficult to carry. Stress works the same way. Maybe you slept badly. Maybe you have an important deadline. Maybe you're worried about money or family problems. Throughout the day, these pressures build up quietly in the background. Then something tiny happens. You can't find your keys. Your phone battery dies. Someone interrupts you during an important task. The small event feels like the cause of your anger, but often it's just the final stone in the backpack. I remember talking to a friend who became extremely angry because a supermarket self-checkout machine stopped working. He knew it sounded ridiculous. Later, he realized he had been dealing with a stressful project for weeks. The machine wasn't the real problem. It was simply the moment when all the hidden pressure finally came out. The second insight is that small frustrations often attack our sense of control. People like to feel in control of their lives. We want things to happen the way we expect. When they don't, our brains react strongly. Think about traffic. Most people aren't angry because driving takes time. They're angry because they plan to arrive at a certain time, and suddenly that plan is impossible. Or think about technology. A computer freezing for 10 seconds shouldn't be a major problem. But it interrupts what you were trying to do. It takes control away from you. That's why 2 people can experience the same situation and react completely differently. One person shrugs and moves on. Another becomes furious. The difference is often not the event itself. It's how much that event threatens their feeling of control. A good example is waiting in line. If you choose to stand in line because you're relaxed and have plenty of time, it may not bother you at all. But if you're already late for an appointment, the exact same line can feel unbearable. The situation hasn't changed. Your relationship to control has changed. The third insight is that anger is often hiding another emotion. This is something many people don't realize. Anger is a loud emotion. It's powerful and easy to notice. But underneath it, there is often something quieter. Sometimes it's anxiety. Sometimes it's disappointment. Sometimes it's embarrassment. Let's say you send an important message and don't receive a reply. You might feel annoyed. Maybe even angry. But if you're honest with yourself, the real feeling might be uncertainty. You're worried about what the silence means. Or imagine making a small mistake at work. A colleague points it out, and you immediately become defensive. It looks like anger. But underneath, you may be feeling embarrassed because you wanted to do a good job. Anger can act like a mask. It covers emotions that feel more uncomfortable or vulnerable. And because anger is easier to express, it often becomes the emotion that reaches the surface. The interesting thing is that once you identify the hidden feeling, the anger often becomes less intense. You stop fighting the wrong battle. So what can you do when a small thing suddenly makes you irrationally angry? Try a simple question. Instead of asking, "Why is this so annoying?" ask yourself, "What else is going on?" Maybe you're tired. Maybe you're stressed. Maybe you feel out of control. Maybe you're worried about something you haven't fully acknowledged. You don't need a perfect answer. Just creating a small pause can make a huge difference. Imagine your internet stops working during an important task. Before reacting, take a moment and ask yourself what you're actually feeling. You may discover that the strongest emotion isn't anger at all. Maybe it's anxiety about missing a deadline. Maybe it's frustration because your day already feels overwhelming. That awareness creates space between the event and your reaction. And in that space, you have choices. The next time you find yourself getting angry because someone cuts in front of you, because your coffee spills, or because an app refuses to load, remember this: the small thing is rarely the whole story. Your emotions are trying to tell you something. The challenge is not to silence them. The challenge is to listen more carefully. Because when you understand what's underneath the anger, those tiny frustrations lose some of their power. And little by little, you stop being controlled by every small inconvenience that crosses your path. You become calmer, more aware, and a little kinder to yourself when life doesn't go exactly as planned.